In this video, we will map out the losses on the Eastern Front of World War II. Dark dot means 10,000 soldiers killed, and the light dot means 10,000 soldiers missing or taken prisoner. In order to have a chance to win, Germany had to continuously outmaneuver and destroy the Soviet forces. In June and July, the German army outmaneuvered the Red Army and encircled its forces. Germany lost 88,000 soldiers killed, but they took almost 1 million Red Army soldiers prisoner. During the next 2 months, the German army encircled another group of the Red Army forces. The Germans suffered a monthly loss rate of 49,000 soldiers. They captured 500,000 Soviet soldiers. In October, the Germans headed east once more. In the center and south, they were able to outmaneuver the Red Army forces and cut them off. Another approximately 500,000 Red Army soldiers became prisoners. The Germans suffered a monthly loss of 39,000 soldiers. Germany had overextended its troops. The Red Army gained the upper hand and launched the winter offensive. During that time, Germany suffered a monthly rate of 74,000 losses, with around half of them as prisoners. The Red Army lost 220,000 men, mostly killed. April saw no large combat operations and the losses were small. In the winter offensive, the Red Army had moved its forces between the German positions. In May and June, the Germans cut off the Red Army troops and captured 400,000 Red Army soldiers. The Germans lost 34,000 troops each month. The Germans then headed towards the Caucasus Mountains. In July, the German forces went once again on the offensive. They outmaneuvered the Red Army troops. At the cost of 38,000 soldiers killed, the Germans captured many prisoners. The Germans then headed southeast. However, they failed to encircle and fully destroy the Red Army forces near the Volga River and the Caucasus. This halted the German attempt to cross the Caucasus Mountains. During August and September, the Germans lost 54,000 troops each month while inflicting 340,000 monthly losses on the Red Army, of which roughly half were killed and the other half missing. The fighting decreased. In October and most of November, the German forces suffered only 27,000 soldiers killed each month, and the Red Army suffered a monthly loss of 110,000 soldiers. In November, the Red Army began its counteroffensive. It outmaneuvered the Axis units and cut off their troops on the southern part of the front. The total Axis monthly losses for December and January were 320,000 dead and captured soldiers. During that time, the Red Army suffered 260,000 monthly losses. The Red Army sent its forces west, but the remaining German troops were still capable, and during February and March, they stopped the Soviet advance and retook some territory. Germany lost 57,000 soldiers each month, while inflicting a monthly loss rate of 250,000 on the Soviet Union. Due to the intervention of the Western Allies, the Germans had to divert their forces, and the Lend-Lease increased the Soviet Union's material advantage even further. The number of Soviet losses began to fall, while the German losses began to grow higher. During the next 3 months, both sides prepared for the summer campaign, and the losses were small. In July, Germany made an attempt to encircle the Red Army forces near Kursk, but it did not succeed. The Red Army then launched an assault against the German positions. After 3 months of fighting, the German defenses were broken through and their troops retreated to better defensive positions on the Dnieper River. The Germans suffered a monthly loss of 72,000 dead and missing, and the Red Army lost 270,000 troops. The Red Army scaled down its offensives. During the next 3 months, until the end of 1943, the Red Army made small gains and created some inroads in the German defenses. The Germans lost 60,000 soldiers each month, and the Red Army suffered 200,000 monthly casualties. The losses were moving slightly in the Soviet Union's favor. In January and February, the Red Army continued with smaller operations in the north and in the south. The German losses grew to 82,000 soldiers a month, while the Red Army stayed the same at 200,000 troops. With the Dnieper River fully crossed in the south, the Red Army broke through the German defenses and outmaneuvered them. It was able to take some Axis troops prisoner. In March and April, the German losses climbed to 110,000 soldiers, while the Red Army losses dropped to 160,000 troops. Germany was now losing more troops proportional to its pre-war population than the Soviet Union. For the most of May and June, the Red Army was preparing for the summer offensive and the losses were smaller. By the middle of 1944, the Red Army's advantage on the Eastern Front became absolute. In June, the Red Army surprised the German troops on the central part of the front and outmaneuvered them. Part of the German troops were cut off. They were taken prisoner. The Red Army then advanced west. It cut off the German forces on the northern part of the front near the sea. For the 2 months since the start of the offensive, Germany suffered 250,000 troops lost per month, while the Red Army suffered a loss rate of 200,000 troops. The German setbacks continued in the next months. In August, the Red Army surprised the Axis troops in the south. The Red Army encircled most of the Axis forces in the region. The Germans lost 340,000 troops, while the Red Army's losses were 140,000 troops. During the next 3 months, until the end of 1944, the Red Army prepared to launch the next campaign, and the intensity of the fighting dropped once again. During that time, the Germans lost 75,000 troops each month, and the Red Army suffered a monthly loss of 110,000 soldiers. During this time, the German system of casualty reporting broke down, and the data we have is less certain than before. The German army was unable to resist the Soviet forces. When the Red Army's offensive was restarted in January, it broke through the German defenses. Many German units were outmaneuvered and many troops were imprisoned. Another group of the German forces on the coast were cut off. Germany lost around 430,000 troops each month, roughly half of them as prisoners. The Red Army losses were 190,000 soldiers. During March and April, the Red Army eliminated pockets of resistance and occupied Berlin, the German capital. This led to the surrender of the remaining Axis forces. The German losses were 715,000 soldiers each month, 2/3 of them prisoners. The Red Army losses were 180,000 troops each month. With the Axis forces surrendering, the Second World War in Europe was over. According to the estimates used in this video, during the war, the Soviet Union had lost 8,668,000 soldiers killed and 2,500,000 missing. Germany suffered 4 million deaths on the Eastern Front. In addition, 2 million soldiers were taken prisoner. The losses for Germany's allies on the Eastern Front were 1.5 million soldiers killed and captured. This would result in more than 13 million soldiers being killed on the Eastern Front. In addition to that, there were also tens of millions of soldiers wounded. This makes the Eastern Front of World War II the deadliest conflict ever fought in Europe. In order to make this video, I had to spend a lot of time analyzing the statistics in order to place all the dots, which number well over 1,300. For the ability to have the 2 months to make this video, I want to thank my patrons. In the next video, we might go to Italy. Or check out the Allies' friends in interwar Europe.